It's a battle of two struggling top six sides in La Liga, and Bayern have a big matchup against Hoffenheim on their hands.
In Italy, teams are looking to shake up the Champions and Europa League spots. And in the Prem, Tottenham play again, so I bet they're a top match to watch. All this and more on this episode 113 of the No Business Soccer Podcast. Snooze, kick us off.
Let's dig in. What is going on, my dudes and dudettes? I'm your host, Snooze, and we got the full fam here today. J-Fam, the Brainiac, hanging out in the back. Danny P on the ones and twos, and of course, our boy Hypeman Vic. What you sipping on, dog?
Well, today, Snooze, we are joining the online community. Everyone is drinking this Gotta Heal old fashioned, so that's what I made today. It is basically an old fashioned, except you have some rye whiskey and a cognac instead of just 2 ounces of bourbon. And then your sweetener actually a Gotta Heal, which is a coffee liqueur and liquor 43 put together. There's some bitters in there, and I think I mixed it with some coffee beans as well. So I did take a sip earlier. Been sitting here for a while. We've been BSing for a while. So it tastes like freaking chocolate cake. It's absolutely delicious. So while I take another sip and get to indulge here, go ahead and like and subscribe. It's the best way to tell YouTube, hey, maybe these guys are pretty fun to talk to every once in a while. And it's the best way to help out the channel as we grow. Appreciate it. Cheers.
Nice clink today. And we have a look ahead for this weekend. We have action across Europe that we're going to be covering in the Bundesliga, La Liga, the Bundesliga, which I already said, Serie A, and the Prem. There you go. Those are the other two. Yeah, we got a lot to cover and a lot to go over. But if you follow this podcast, you might remember a conversation we had a couple of episodes ago. I can't remember exactly when. But our boy Hypeman Vic was saying he was getting out of the shower and saw, just looked at his head, a little light up there. And I was saying that, on camera it looks nice, but I'm thinning too. And we're just like getting to that age. And we're just like, man, Turkey, a little Turkey hair transplant trip to go see some football, plus looking at some, get some work done. That sounds like a thing that's in our future. And so we thought, why not, before we start our show, jump into the top 5 hair transplants around football. And we have compiled a good list of the top ones, and we're going to go over them here today. And before we jump in, just know this is no shade. This is no shame. This is like this is something that we envy, that this is cool, that these guys felt comfortable enough to do it. You think about, like, women can get work done to themselves and look awesome. Why can't men, right? And this is our work. So with that, no further ado, is that what we say? Let's go into the top 5 hair transplants around football. And we come in at number 5, Mohamed Salah. Let's take a look at that. Oh, look at that sexy man. Look at that work right there. You can see it's just like the peaks are coming out. And now look at him. Boy's looking fly in that suit right there with that nice head of hair. Oh, man.
Dude. Faded up though. Look at that.
Right. It's so nice. Yeah. I feel like any hairstyle with the fade is going to look nice, but especially you get that work done. Like, damn, it's my boy there.
You know who he looks like in his first picture?
Who's that?
He looks like Danny P's passport photo.
Wow. Danny P. That is shade right there in front of everyone. That is messed up. Hey, but you know
like
what?
Just a bad guy in a movie. You know what I mean? Like,
I don't even want to know what Danny P said. He's bad right now.
We'll
but I will say that we, as in Hypeman Vic and I, we want this hair transplant. There's some people that don't want this, and that's fine. We're just talking about this because we want it done. All right, so don't feel like you got to be in this and we're being rude to these guys. We're not, okay? Just want to keep calling it out because the next one it just keeps getting worse. Okay, we're going with number 4, David Beckham. Look at that. Oh, man. Check out those locks. Come on. The dude is beautiful. And not to say that he wasn't beautiful before. Everyone likes a little bit of a shaved head look, but come on. Look at that man on the right. That is crazy. The locks, you can't even see through it. That is some good stuff right there. What'd you say?
He went from like middle school defensive backs coach to David Beckham. He looks like
he looks like he's the guy, David Beckham.
Yeah.
That's his look right there. Oh man, look at those locks. I mean, if there's not a picture that shows me that I'm definitely going to Turkey, I mean, this is it right here. Although I don't have confirmation that this was indeed a hair transplant, but I mean, come on, I mean, it's hard to hide that. Okay, moving on. Number 3, we have Rob Holding. Oh man. You can see like half his head through that hair, and then look at him on the right-hand side with those beautiful locks pointing at us with that Gunners shirt. I mean, this guy's a Arsenal through and through, and I don't like Arsenal, but look at him. How can I throw any shade on that? That hair is beautiful. I mean, the smile just says it all, right, Vic?
The one on the left is just miserable. Oh my God.
Yeah, right. It's so bad. That's what I'm saying. This is about confidence. It's about being happy in your own skin. This is what it does for us. And, get to go to Turkey at the same time. Turkey A. Okay, let's move on to number 2. We have Antonio Conte. Oh, Lord. This guy, I mean, you could tell that he was in his playing days and he did not give a fuck. He was like, who cares? I am destroying people in football, and I'll worry about my hair another day. And now he has that big, beautiful head of hair as a Italian manager that's just taking over everywhere he goes. I mean, come on, that's insane. Whew, them things are long.
Oh my God. Yeah. It kind of looks like Cynthia from the Rugrats, that doll. Like a couple of
Oh, come
parts
on,
of that where it's like kind of
just coming out.
That's why this is good. This is why
deep cut.
That's why guys like us kind of want to do that. So this is exactly why.
I mean, come on. If I look like Conte whenever I'm his age, come on. Okay, now it's time for number 1. Vic, give me a drum roll, please, because this is going to be. Landon Donovan. Let's go. Dude, you surprised me with that drum roll there.
That was nice.
That was nice.
Banjos, I mean, but
this is our bongos, not banjos.
Yeah, bongos, not banjos. My bad.
Ding, 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 ding. Anyway, when you see Landon Donovan, that's like his receding hairline is like legendary. If in the American sports, or specifically soccer, the whole, whatever you call it, complex, the whole thing, we all knew that he was balding from the age of like 25, and it didn't matter. That was our guy. And now look at him. He's still our guy, but he's handsome with hair. I mean, come on. That is crazy. There's a couple of shots of him, I think it was covering a Gold Cup, where his little comb over flew back, and it just, oh man, it was just gross. And it's fine. I can say that because I'm saying with respect, saying with love. Landon Donovan looks great now. Look at that. I mean, come on. Golly.
Yeah,
and you can tell, like, go ahead.
All right, I was just gonna say that he is completely open about it too, because there was no way that he was gonna come back, and people would be like, "Okay, come on." So he's completely open about it, and that's what we like here.
I was gonna say the pictures of them with their transplants, they're all smiling, and like they look like they've gotten a little bit more jacked. They're all like, that confidence really went a long way. And some shout outs as we wrap up this segment, I guess we'll call it. Yeah. So some shout outs while we wrap up this segment. It's Wayne Rooney, because he had a pretty good one. Marc-Andre ter Stegen, he had a good one as well. Andros Townsend had some great work done. That boy's lined up now. Gabriel from Arsenal, and the whole journey is run through. Oh, we have a couple there you go. We have a couple of videos of Gabriel going through this whole process on YouTube. There's a whole video about the clinic he went to and how it works and everything. So pretty cool stuff there. Also, Kyle Walker, Jurgen Klopp. I mean, just some of the other notable ones around.
Oh yeah,
around Europe. So Jurgen Klopp's pretty gnarly. I couldn't find a good comparison photo though. So those were our top 5 hair transplants across the football landscape. So.
Yes.
You shall see us in about 10 to 15 years with that same exact thing happening. Maybe soon. Maybe, I don't know. Thinning up there. So, okay, Vic. 2 minutes in. Any other things before we wrap up this hair transplant discussion?
No. You guys will know if we do it. We'll just be a little bit happier. We might be a little bit more showing off and everything. So if we do end up going.
I'm definitely getting jacked and like just having my shirt off a lot more. I don't know why. I just feel like that, flowing hair.
doesn't
You
have
got to
that,
do
but
that.
yeah.
Yeah.
I guess
all
it
right.
does.
Yeah. All right. Well, let's jump in then. We have a lot to cover, and we're going to start in Italy.
Well, let's do it to Serie A.
All right. We have a couple of, actually one thing to go over in Serie A. It's actually, I don't know if I've ever seen this before, but after their losses this past weekend and relegation looking more and more likely, both Verona and Pisa sacked their managers. Pisa sacked Gilardino on February 1st, and Verona sacked Zanetti on the 2nd of February. Verona are still in the hunt for a manager at this time, but Pisa have hired Oscar Hiljemark. I don't know how to pronounce that. Hiljemark, who comes over from Elfsborg in Sweden, which is interesting hire for Pisa. So we'll see how that goes. But yeah, for a news and notes segment, I don't know if I've ever seen back-to-back coaches sacked like this. Pretty crazy stuff.
Dang, and we're about to get into it. They play each other this week. So
yeah, exactly. Gonna be some wildness. No one's gonna know what the hell they're doing. So okay, with that, let's jump in.
We'll go ahead and jump into it. And of course, we're going to start with your No Business Soccer podcast. Top matches and headlines for Serie A match day 24. And your first match is Lazio, looking to break away from the middle of the table, but they will have to beat a Juve team that have looked to be back in form.
Lazio will be coming in off that big win over the informed Genoa, hoping to get their fans back on their side, as they could easily do that if they can take care of business against the old lady on the road. And Juve under Spalletti is a new monster. They are tearing it up with 4 wins in the last 5 Serie A games. On paper, this should be a Juve win at home, but there was something in that win in Lazio's last outing that I really liked, and I hadn't seen in a while from this squad. It was like they needed a spark, and that ultra protest and the empty stadium might have done the trick. Even if our Lazio can grind out a draw, they could count that as a win, and that's a good place to be in coming into this huge match this weekend.
And your second match is Roma, looking to right the ship, but will they be able to stop the momentum that is Cagliari?
Now, this is a test to show us if Cagliari is real. We've seen them streaking a bit, but this one is the real test. We've already seen them take care of Juve and Fiorentina, who at the time they were playing them, they had a few quirks on there, mostly talking about Juve there. But going to Stadio Olimpico and taking out this top 5 Roma side would be an amazing feat for them and really shake up the table. Not only would it be 4 straight wins for Cagliari, but it would also possibly mean that they could jump into that mid-table area with plenty of matches to go to push on for Europe for some questionable sides that are above them. We'll talk about them as we go. Roma won't go down easy, though. They have been so good in Serie A this season, and yes, they have slipped up a couple times coming into this game, but do we really think that they would drop points in 3 straight games? I'm not sure about that. We'll see, but either way, we got a super interesting matchup on our hands here.
And those are your top matches and headlines for Serie A match day 24. Let's go ahead and jump into the rest of the match day. And it starts with that mighty battle for 19th as Verona welcome Pisa.
It's a 6-pointer of all 6-pointers, 19th against 20th. And both of these teams don't really have an obvious place where they're going to be picking up points from. So this is a must win for both sides. The only issue comes if they draw, because if they draw, that doesn't help any of them. And then since we wrote this breakdown, they've both sacked their managers. So this one is going to be chaos. I'm going to tune in just to see the craziness that comes out of this one. I mean, hopefully we get some goals. How about that?
Yeah, it's either going to be 0-0 or like 8-7 or something like that.
Right, exactly. We'll find out. It's going to be fun Friday night.
Yeah, it will. And that is your lone Friday match. We then move on to Saturday as Genoa look to prove last match day was just a hiccup and get back on track. But they have number 3 Napoli coming to town looking for all 3 points.
Genoa had been on a bit of a hot streak before they lost to Lazio, and now they get a depleted but motivated Napoli side. Injuries are bound to take a toll on Napoli, but will this be the game they slip up in? I'm not sure. Genoa are pretty good. This one will be fun.
And then Saturday ends with our boys in purple trying to bounce back from 2 straight losses against a Torino side that wants to keep the winning feeling going.
This should be a match that our Viola can get 3 points in after losing to Cagliari and Napoli in back-to-back weeks. But Torino are in great spirits, I guess we can call it, after beating the Milkmen. They had lost so many matches before that win, though. They surely haven't got back their mojo yet. I mean, surely. But we'll find out, because Fiorentina Fiorentina absolutely need this win.
Yep, and that's only 2 matches on Saturday. Absolutely. So we then move to Sunday, as Bologna and Parma, who have 2 wins total the last 12 games combined, look to get some run of form going.
I don't know why, like I'm saying absolutely, and I just like this. That just came natural in this segment. We're in the Serie A, so I had to throw out that whatever. Absolutely. Anyway, Bologna have lost 3 straight matches and are just tumbling down the table right now and can't seem to get back into shape like they have been in the past couple of seasons. But now they take on Parma, who are in a slump of their own. I kind of feel like this is where Bologna could turn it around.
Next up is the Milkmen, still looking for their first win of 2026, welcoming an Udinese side that are on a 2-game win streak.
The Milkmen look like a team that is going to join Pisa and Verona on the way out, and Udinese are starting to get a hot streak after back-to-back wins. I don't see them slipping up here, and Udinese have been really fun to watch the last couple of match days.
Sunday continues with our number ones, Inter, going on the road to a Sassuolo squad that have 2 wins in a row and not looking to stop.
Inter are in such good form right now. I just can't see them slipping up in this matchup. But Sassuolo do have back-to-back wins coming into this game. Not that should be enough to cause them much trouble, but it's not as straightforward as it might have been a couple weeks ago for Inter.
And Sunday ends with your No Business Soccer podcast top match. That was Juve and Lazio. We talked about that. So we go into Monday night football doubleheader, and it starts with Atalanta, who haven't lost in 2026, welcoming a Cremonese side that hasn't won in 2026.
Yeah, I wrote this one like a caveman because I don't know how much analysis you need. Cremonese bad, Atalanta good. Good team beat bad team at home.
And your Monday night doubleheader ends with your other No Business Soccer podcast top match. That was Roma and Cagliari. We have one more match on this day, but it's going to be played on Wednesday, this match day. It's going to be played on Wednesday, February 18th. So for now, that is it for Serie A match day 24. Let's take a quick refresher of the table. Of course, on top are going to be your number ones, Inter. They have 55 points. They are followed by Inter Milan. They're followed by AC Milan. I'm just going to say their full name. They have 50 points in the number 2 spot. Then Napoli have the number 3 spot with 46 points. And rounding out our top 4 is Juve with 45 points. And then there you go. Tickling our top 4 is Roma with 43 points. And then we look at the bottom of the table. Our boys in purple, Fiorentina, would be the first team eliminated or relegated. If the season ended today, they have 17 points in the number 18 spot. They are followed only by Pisa and Hellas Verona, who go head-to-head this weekend. They both have 14 points apiece. Winner takes 19. And good luck, I guess.
Yeah, there's this Serie A match day is really fun. We don't get a lot of top-end matchups, but just the storylines, especially with that 19 and 20 match, I mean, that's going to be just fun to check in on. Genoa doing pretty good. Napoli, I mean, Juventus, Lazio, we already broke down. Roma, Cagliari, though, that one looks like it's going to be a fun one. Really finding out who Cagliari is. Good matchup, good stuff. And all around this weekend, there's some pretty good matches. So I think that's it for Italy, right? Anything else?
That is it. That's all I got.
Okay. Let's do it then. Let's go to Germany.
Let's do it to Bundesliga.
Yes. We'll start off with some news and notes around the Bundesliga. And unfortunately, we got some more firings, some sackings, whatever you want to call it. After their 1-1 draw with Gladbach last Saturday, Werder Bremen sacked Horst Stefan, who they just signed this past summer from Elversberg after their amazing season ended with defeat in relegation promotion playoff against Heidenheim. It's tough for Stefan because he was brought in as kind of a long-term project for this Werder Bremen side. And what was in mind was the fact that he was good with bringing up young talent in Germany. He was able to cultivate that and bring it up at Elversberg, and they were hoping to do the same thing at Bremen. But just a point outside of relegation and winning 4 games out of their 20 so far this season, they decided to pull the plug on that project. New manager, Daniel, this is a tough one, Thuna was hired, and so we'll see how things go from here. But yeah, that project that we were all pretty excited to see is now gone, and Werder Bremen are starting over. They are cleaning that slate. I listened to a whole podcast about how they were in flux after losing Nick Voltemata. So he actually was part of the Bremen Academy, came up through there, and he wasn't getting minutes under the previous manager, and he ended up leaving for free to go to Stuttgart, and then he played for Stuttgart for a season, and then made like a 90 million pound move to Newcastle. And it's just insane that all that money and all that talent, and Werder Bremen couldn't keep him there. And so ever since then, they've been like, well, we need to get a coach that can cultivate that can make this team, this is their identity. And they fired him before he could even get through a full season. So not good for them. In other news around June, it is the Bundesliga because it's the club that's in the Bundesliga, but this doesn't necessarily have to do with the team that they have in the top league. This is FC Köln. They take Europe very seriously, and I didn't know this, but apparently they like to be called FC, which is just random. Maybe it's because it's not a thing in Germany that they don't say that often, but there was like quotations around the word FC in this article I was reading. So anyway, maybe they're known as FC. We like the little goats that could here at the No Business Soccer Podcast.
Yeah.
But either way, they take Europe very seriously, and they are any type of European football they can get. They are ready for it, as they are called. I guess there's a whole ultra thing that they have there, where anything that happens around European stuff, they travel big. I saw that they had a game against Chelsea in like 2017 or something, and they had maxed out their tickets and asked for more. I mean, it's just crazy stuff with this traveling team, which is very, very cool for a side that has they just got promoted into the Bundesliga. Anyway, let's finish this story though. They set a new European attendance record as a sellout 50,000 crowd turned up to see the club's under-19s play Inter Milan in the UEFA Youth League, Champions League, I guess it was called, like something like that. So essentially the under-19s had that European match, and they made the round of 16. I believe this is what it was. And 50,000 people sold out that stadium to cheer on their side. And in the podcast that I was listening to, it was about all German football. They were saying that FC Köln, that the city of Cologne, just like they can't wait for the next European adventure that they have, regardless of if it's in the Conference League. I mean, even in the under-19s Champions League. I mean, that's what they want. They want that type of atmosphere, and they're all about it, proving it with 50,000 showing up to under-19s match against Inter Milan. Okay, that was some long news and notes. Let's jump into the match day.
Let's do it. And of course, we're going to start with your No Business Soccer Podcast, top matches and headlines for Bundesliga match day 21. And our first match is what good old JR would call a slobber knocker. Or can it be number 3's Hoffenheim take their third best defense in a league and make it 3 straight match days that the reigning, defending champions Bayern Munich drop points?
Question. Who's JR?
Good old JR. He's a WWE announcer. He calls him slobber.
Oh my God.
Yeah. Okay, you know exactly who it was. You know
Forget that I even asked this. Okay, let's just move on with this wrestling stuff. I mean, come on, guys.
Hey, I spared you from a lot of like Royal Rumble talk that I had lined up, and I just didn't do it. So,
I appreciate that.
You should be grateful.
Like you and the one person that watched that thing would have a lot of fun with that update that you're going to provide us.
I'm doing it for you, one person. Let me know down in comments if it's you. I'll do it for you
if you like it. Oh man, there's got to be like a age limit for that. You know what I mean? Like 27.
No.
You know, you can't watch it after that. So.
No, not at all, bro. We'll watch a couple matches. I'll get you into it.
I know you like Becky Page. Is that her name?
No,
you didn't think I knew.
That's not it. It's Becky Lynch. I do like Becky Lynch, but that's not my favorite. Yeah.
No, yeah, you can't have favorite wrestlers, dude.
Yeah, I like 3 or 4. No. Yeah, roughly.
Okay, it's disappointing. Anyway, let's move on. Bayern and Hoffenheim. It's a great match. This match is crazy with the storylines and narratives coming out of it. On one hand, you have Bayern at home, who are one of the best teams in Europe and have only lost twice in all competitions this season and are starting to get fully healthy. But in the Bundesliga, they've dropped points in back-to-back games, and for the first time, they look mortal, Vic. Kind of like Xerxes seeing his own blood at the end of 300. That's his name. Xerxes is his name, right? I thought I got that right. Okay. Woohoo! Yeah. Okay, I was hoping. I didn't want to look it up, though. I just figured I'd ask you, in front of our audience here. And on the other hand, yeah, I appreciate that. And on the other hand, you have this upstart project team in Hoffenheim who've done pretty decent in past seasons. They were in Europe just 2 seasons ago, but last season they were very close to relegation. Cut to this season, and they are flying. They have the second most goals scored behind Bayern Munich. They have the third best goals against behind Bayern and Dortmund. And both of those clubs are the only ones that have less losses in the Bundesliga than Hoffenheim. And now, coming into this matchup against Bayern, they have won 5 straight and are the most informed team in the Bundesliga. You really can't make this stuff up. But with all that said, we've done this song and dance before, Vic, especially in the Bundesliga, where we think a team streaking stands a chance to take down the mighty Bayern, and then they end up losing 5-1, 6-1, something crazy like that. I still think it's a high possibility that something like that happens. But Hoffenheim, they really just need a draw here to cause some noise in the table and around Germany. With all the pressure on Bayern, can they make a statement in this match? That's the big question. I am excited.
And, it is going to be exciting. It's one you're going for Hoffenheim for, of course, but I don't know if you put your money on it. I don't know if you put your money on it.
So. No.
And our next match are 2 teams on 2-game win streaks, but someone's has got to go. It's Mainz welcoming Augsburg.
This is kind of the trendy pick, the you didn't see this coming pick, or as some people might say, the hipster pick. But these 2 teams have not been great looking at the whole season, but both of them have been killing it in the past 5 games and have taken the scalps off some big-time clubs as well, with Augsburg being the first team to take down Bayern this season and Mainz going on the road to beat Leipzig. But both clubs have back-to-back wins coming in, and it's a feel-good story on either side of the ball. But the difference is Mainz have to make up for their early season sins, we'll call it, because they don't have a huge margin for error to try to avoid relegation or the relegation playoff this season. The table is so congested from mid-table down, though, that there's bound to be a ton of shakeup within the next month. But if we get a winner in this game, it could mark a very big turning point in both clubs' seasons. This one's going to be fun.
And those are your top matches and headlines for Bundesliga match day 21. Let's go ahead and get into the rest of the match day. And of course, it starts on Friday with 2 teams in desperate need of points as Eintracht Frankfurt head to the always rockin' Union Berlin.
Both teams come in off back-to-back losses, and it makes sense for Frankfurt as they are managerless, or they were, but that all changes starting with this match as new manager Albert Riera is taking over the reins at Eintracht Frankfurt, and we'll see how things go. Obviously, you can't expect a new manager to have his play style and philosophies yet, but maybe he gets a new manager bounce and he is able to get this done. I might have to do another short on this because I don't want to take too much time on the Bundesliga, but I saw his introductory press conference, and let's just say you would run through a wall for that dude, or you'll hate him, right? He's that type of manager. He was, he was amping me up just hearing it. Like, damn, this Eintracht side might go and win the league. We'll have to find out.
Then we move to Saturday as we have 2 teams without a win since the first week of December battling it out. It's bottom of the table Heidenheim welcoming Hamburg.
Hamburg have gotten plenty of draws recently, and with clubs struggling at the bottom of the table, it sees them move 5 points clear of the drop zone. A win here against bottom of the table Double H cements their status and Double H's as well. If there's a win either way, I don't see Heidenheim getting the win because Hamburg just seemed like they're on a run right now. But either way, Hamburg winning means a lot to both clubs.
One cool thing I found out whenever I was kind of looking at all this stuff for Heidenheim, there's an Heidenheimer, Texas. And it's just southeast of Temple. Yeah. It's pretty close.
Oh,
actually.
We might have to go there. Just check it out.
I think there's like 3 buildings total. I don't think there's hardly anything there. But there is a Heidenheimer, Texas.
Look, we'll bring some beer and we'll watch the Heidenheim match in Heidenheimer, Texas. How about that?
I like it. We'll do that.
Let's make it happen.
Next up, we have a Dortmund team looking to add pressure to the top of the table as they head to Wolfsburg.
Turns out Dortmund are kind of back in the title race, and so they can no longer take their foot off the gas against these lower table teams until they're at least 3 goals up. That's what it has to be. Wolfsburg are terrible right now, though, so Dortmund have a great chance to do just that.
And then Saturday continues with a top and bottom matchup as number 4 Stuttgart head to number 17 St. Pauli.
VfB. Stuttgart will be annoyed at their recent uptick in form that's coinciding with Dortmund and Hoffenheim's uptick as well, because VfB have been playing really, really well, winning 4 of their last 5, and they're right back in the top 4. With St. Pauli on tap, they might be looking at 3 straight wins, and I'm all for it. We are all for it. All of us.
We are all for it. Our next match was the No Business Soccer Podcast top matchup of the week. That was Mainz and Augsburg. We talked about that, so we go to Freiburg, looking to keep the climb going to be in European competition consideration, and they get a team that's hoping to just stay out of the relegation zone, Werder Bremen.
The Black Forest boys. They weren't strong enough to take down Stuttgart in the derby, but they should be game to take down a super struggling team in Werder Bremen, who just sacked a manager, as we mentioned earlier. I see this as a big bounce back opportunity for Freiburg.
Next, we have a mouthful as Bayer Leverkusen want to make it 3 in a row to inch closer to a Champions League spot, and they have a good chance to do so as they head to Borussia Mönchengladbach.
I forgot you like to say both of those days. This is your matchup. This is the Vic matchup right here. Always makes me laugh. That is hilarious. All right. Gladbach, or Borussia Mönchengladbach, almost had 3 points in the bag last weekend, but lost in the closing moments of the game. The good news is they get a home game here. The bad news is it's against Leverkusen, who, yes, they haven't hit the heights under Kasper Hjulman that they might have hoped for, but they've won back-to-back coming in, and they have momentum.
We then move on to Sunday, as Leipzig look to prevent our cute little goat mascots Köln from making it 2 wins in a row.
Leipzig haven't hit their stride yet coming out of the winter break, and losing to a relegation-threatened Mainz did not help that cause. Seeing that result, it's hard to think that Köln won't have a chance to get all 3 points at home here. It's never that easy, but the little goats that could look to be in strong position to at least get a point, at least. But they do have a couple injuries this week that came up in training. I was looking at some of the notes for this, and it's not looking like they'll be at full strength. But either way, hopefully they get it done.
And your match day 21 ends with your main event and the No Business Soccer Podcast top matchup. That was Bayern and Hoffenheim. We, of course, went over that already. So let's go ahead and take a peek at the table just to get a quick refresher. Don't need much of a refresher on top because, of course, Bayern Munich are your number one still. They have 51 points. They are 6 points clear of number 2, Borussia Dortmund, who have 45 points. In the number 3 spot is our Can It Be number 3's Hoffenheim. They still have 42 points, looking to shake up these top 3 spots even more this next weekend or this coming weekend. And then rounding out our top 4 is Stuttgart. They have 39 points. And then tickling our top 4 is RB Leipzig. They have 36 points, looking to break into the Champions League spots. Not even mentioning Champions League is the 3 teams down here. Mainz are in the 16th spot. They have 18 points. They are in the relegation playoff zone right there. They are followed by St. Pauli in the 17th spot with 14 points. And then Heidenheim, a solid foundation for the Bundesliga table. They have 13 points in the bottom spot, the 18th spot, hoping to get some sort of rhythm going.
It's crazy stuff. I'm looking at Mainz down there, and I'm like, you see the bottom, 14 down, and it's just a bunch of red and gray. And you see Mainz just green. They have 10 points in the last 5 games. They've only have 18 points total. So they have turned it on. Are you about to sneeze? Nice.
I'm muted. Yeah, sorry.
Caught it. Yeah. I thought you were just so emotional that Mainz was about to just
our boys Mainz. They're doing so good right now.
But 10 points in the last 5 match days. That's crazy. Yeah. They only had 8 prior to that. So let's see if they can keep going. I'm looking forward to it. That's I'm looking forward to that Augsburg match. The only thing that sucks about these Bundesliga Saturdays is that all the games kick off at the exact same time. You're watching it like crazy. And it's only like 30 minutes before the Prem starts. And so, man, it gets to be a lot. But that's why we cover everything here. So you don't have to watch it. You just check out this podcast and it gets you caught up to speed.
Yeah, there are 5 matches all starting at 8:30 Saturday morning Central.
Yeah,
all 5 of them. It's a lot. I think it was the
same. Did you watch Goal Arena?
Video.
Goal Arena.
That's right. Yeah,
good stuff.
Bundesliga Red Zone.
There you go. Bundesliga Red Zone. Same thing. Whatever.
Yeah. Same thing.
Okay, let's move on. Let's go to Spain.
Let's do it to La Liga.
Using notes for La Liga because surprisingly or unsurprisingly, if you've been following the leagues, Barcelona and Real Madrid didn't have any big signings in this winter transfer window as it closed. Atleti, they did get Ademola Lookman, which, that's pretty cool. We love some Ademola Lookman on this side. We'll see how he does in Atletico or at Atleti. They send Raspadori over to Atalanta. I don't know if it was a 1-for-1 trade or if it just happened to be the guys switching spots. I don't know, but either way, pretty cool stuff. Good to see both of those guys moving on to their respective new homes. Okay, Vic, let's do it.
Let's do it. Let's go ahead and break into your No Business Soccer podcast. Top matches and headlines for La Liga match day 23. And our first match is your Monday night football matchup, as we have two teams with just 1 point in their last 6 matches collectively. Yet it's still number 4 Villarreal taking on number 6 Espanyol.
That is crazy, right? That's probably why it's in here the most. But we got two teams in a super slump coming in, and this matchup is going to be a something has to give matchup, we'll call it. Villarreal have the pedigree that should get this over the line, but they have been so bad in La Liga recently, and it's not even mentioning how terrible they were in Europe. This is just a shell of the team that they saw last season, or that they were last season, and even earlier this season. But it's a similar story with Espanyol, who won 5 straight in La Liga going into the winter break. So 5 straight, but haven't won any of the 5 since, coming back with 4 of those being losses. So it almost washed away all the work they just did. The bad news for Espanyol is they played Valencia, Girona, Levante, and others who are all lower table teams in the games already that they've lost. But they haven't even hit the rough patch in their next couple of games, which is Villarreal in this match, Celta in the next match, and then Atletico Madrid in the next match. So coming up, those next 2 games so hard. If they don't get a win here, I don't know a win is coming in anytime soon. So this is going to be an interesting one for both sides.
And your second match is a top 5 matchup between an Atletico Madrid team on fire right now and a Real Betis team looking to just keep up.
Yeah, it's a top 5 matchup in La Liga. And even though Atleti, they dropped points recently, but Betis have dropped a lot more, and they look real bad. I mean, twice in their last 5. Both teams are still poised for a European finish, which if you look at Atletico Madrid, their points, they can coast. They're not going to catch the title. They're more than likely not going to drop below the Champions League spots, but they can't coast too much because they have some Champions League stuff coming up. So let's get into it. It really comes down to what type of ambitions Betis has for themselves going into next season, because they are 10 points behind Atleti in 3rd and 7 behind Villarreal in 4th. It's a possibility that the top 5 spots in La Liga are Champions League spots next season, but it's not guaranteed yet. So if Betis can go in and get a win, they can start to believe that they can chip away at that top 4 spot just to make sure that they get in. And Atleti seem pretty content to their spot in La Liga and focusing on the Champions League, and the knockout phase is coming up just a couple weeks from now, which could lead to a path for victory for Betis. Because again, this matchup might not be a big deal for Atleti, but Betis really needs the win here.
And those are your No Business Soccer podcast top matches and headlines for La Liga match day 23. I don't know why I stumbled on that. I thought I corrected myself when I didn't need to. Let's go ahead and get into the rest of the match day. But before we do, I know you saw me finish my drink, but luckily, what do I always keep next to me, Snooze?
Ice.
A bottle of Stag. That is right. Yeah.
Oh,
so,
yeah. All right. Yeah. Sorry. Next time.
Some more of that in there, and the party keeps going. So let's get into the rest of the match day 23, and it starts on Friday with Osasuna heading to Celta Vigo. And while Celta Vigo are just 2 spots above Osasuna, they clear them by a whole 7 points.
Osasuna seem to always find a way to get in the top 10, but not quite into Europe, and that's exactly what they are on track to do again this season. But they're gaining some steam, and the team that they are taking on, Celta, have dropped points in the past 2 games, but were doing very well prior to those 2 results. This feels like one that could be close and ends with a late winner.
We then move to Saturday, and it's a relegation scrap as number 18, Rayo Vallecano, welcome number 19, Oviedo.
Yeah, another talk about a 6-pointer. Rayo have lost their magic from last season and come into this match in 18th off 3 straight losses to take on bottom of the table Oviedo, who have been terrible, but they got a win over Girona last weekend. It could be a massive win either way, but if Rayo get a win, that could mean they stay up. That's a big deal for them.
And Saturday continues with Mallorca looking to make it 3 wins out of the last 4 games, but it's a tall task as they head to the current number 1s, Barcelona.
With how congested the table is at the bottom of La Liga, Mallorca keep yo-yoing in and out of the relegation zone, but seeing Barca at the height of their powers on the schedule, that isn't fun. I expect Barcelona to win this one handily, unfortunately.
Next up, we have number 15, Sevilla, welcoming number 12, Girona. And get this, winner could jump all the way to 8th or 9th.
Yeah, that makes sense, right? I think it's a good time to see this match because both clubs are struggling for consistency and they're toying with relegation. Maybe they get in the scrap, maybe they don't, but we really can't tell who's real and who's not at this point. We get to go into this match and we get to see who is real, because if there's a winner, we're going to get some answers. And hopefully we do, because a draw kind of throws water on that whole thing.
And Saturday ends with Elche looking to turn things around after 5 straight without a win, but they take on a surging Real Sociedad side that haven't lost since December 12th when the team got sponsored by Carl's Jr.
Most of the matches that Elche play in are fun because of the way they approach the game, but it does not make for winning a lot of games at this level because it's pretty hard to do so whenever you're running at them like that. It's great news for our guy Reno Matarazzo over in San Sebastian, though, because La Real have a great chance to extend their unbeaten run in this game. And man, it's going to be Saturday night. It's going to be probably a nice, cool evening in San Sebastian. They just ate some grilled fish or something good, some tapas. I think they call them pinchos there. I think pinchos. That sounds like something we wouldn't call it here, but there it sounds right. I believe I'm correct. It's pinchos. Either way, man, just a beautiful place. We got to go check out a game there one day. Also, there's a game that we talked about.
Oh, yeah.
There you go.
We then move on to Sunday, as number 17 Getafe head to number 10 Alaves. And despite being 7 places apart, if Getafe win, they will jump Alaves in the table.
Alaves have back-to-back wins and are starting to feel themselves as they are gradually climbing up the table. Imagine if they can get 3 points over the line against a very poor Getafe side, or poo, as I put in my notes. Forgot the R there. They could be tickling the European spots if things break their way by the end of this match.
And Sunday continues as the tumbling Atleti Club look to get a win against number 19 Levante. But for the last 6 match days, Levante have been by far the better team despite placement.
Athletic Club have got to get a win here. And I know that Levante forced a draw with Atleti last weekend, but Athletic Club are winless in their last 6 La Liga games and have to start getting points somewhere. I think it starts here.
And our next match is your No Business Soccer Podcast top matchup of the week. That was Real Betis and Atletico Madrid. We already talked about that, so we move on to the conclusion of Sunday with our current number 2s, Real Madrid, looking to keep pressure on the top spot as they head to Valencia.
For all the struggles that Real Madrid have had, they're still winning, and they won't change that, or shouldn't change, I guess, against a Valencia side that have been struggling recently. I think that maybe Real won't make it as easy as they should, and the fans will boo them and whistle, and they'll not really have fun in this one because that just seems to be what they do now, but they'll still get it done.
And your match day 23 ended with your Monday night football match. That was also your No Business Soccer Podcast top matchup of the week that we already talked about. So let's go ahead and move on and take a refresher of the table. Up top, like we said, you will see Barcelona. They are obviously number 1. They're on top. They have 55 points, just 1 point ahead of Real Madrid, who are in the number 2 spot with 54 points. There is a 9-point gap to number 3, Atletico Madrid. They have 45 points, followed by Villarreal, who are 3 points behind them with 42 points, rounding out our top 4. And then another jump of 7 points lead to Real Betis in the number 5 spot with 35 points. And then if we take a look at the bottom of the table, you'll see Rayo Vallecano. They have 22 points in the number 18 spot. They would be the first team relegated if the season ended today. They are followed by Levante, who have 18 points in the number 19 spot. And then Real Oviedo with 16 points, coming off a win, hopefully getting some more points as, they were just promoted. So we want to see them kind of stay for a round or two, or a year or two.
We'll see. I mean, who would you kick out, though? That's the sad part. You got to kick someone out.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, you're right. They can go. No.
they can go. They can get out of here. Oh, look at that table, though. 28 at number 8, all the way down to 18, 22. 6 points. Golly,
yeah.
that is so crazy.
That's that Getafe and Alaves. So Getafe are number 17, Alaves is number 10. They're only 2 points apart. So if Getafe win, they go to number 10. Like they jump Alaves. I mean,
is this the league that we said we're going to screenshot and then check it in a month and see where it was?
Yeah.
I don't know, because I know we said it last time, but I can't remember if this was the league or not.
Yeah, this was it, because it's so congested there.
Crazy. Okay. Well, I think that's all for La Liga. Let's move on to England.
Let's do it to the Prem.
No bias here. Nothing crazy. Don't know who would even think that. But let's go into some news and notes around the Prem. This is kind of talking about the match day. There's not necessarily a note about there, but looking at the match days, trying to break them down, I feel like this one is a big weekend in the relegation scrap as 16 through 19 all play each other, and Wolves have a tough matchup against Chelsea. It's a little early to claim who we know or to claim who is going to be relegated, or that we know that is what I'm trying to say. We'll certainly have a clear path, though, after this match day because, a lot of those teams play each other. It's like, sometimes you get the top five or, a lot of matchups in the top five. It's the complete opposite. We get matchups of all the bottom teams, and sometimes that's just as fun. So with that said, let's jump into the unbiased matches.
Completely unbiased. No Business Soccer Podcast. Top matches and headlines for Premier League Match Day 24. And your first match, weirdly enough, is two teams looking to get back on a winning run after a rough start to 2026. It's a classic as Manchester City head to Liverpool.
At this rate, Liverpool are no locks for the Champions League next season unless some of the teams above them come down to earth a bit, and they can have a hand in not only doing that, but also essentially ending the title race with the win at Anfield over Manchester City on Sunday. But by the time this one kicks off, potentially, if they beat Sunderland, Arsenal could be 9 points ahead of City, which means that really City have to win this match if they have any hope of catching Arsenal in the spring. These games are always fun, and we're always going to be watching it no matter what. So you don't need me to tell you to watch it. So let's kick back and watch Liverpool give the Gooners the title.
And your second completely fair and honest, unbiased match is maybe one step closer to a long-awaited haircut as the surging Manchester United welcomes snoozes Tottenham Hotspur.
I knew he was going to say that. So, and I just happened to be wearing this shirt. It's not like it was coordinated or anything, but
wow.
Look, I know Vic I knew he was going to call me out for this one, but it's not. This is more to do so with Manchester United on the other side of the ball than it does Spurs, because United are on the verge of making it 4 wins and 4 for Carrick and really starting to cement their place in the Champions League spots. They've won in a lot of ways in a tense Manchester derby against the top team in the league in Arsenal, and then they had to grind out the win with a last-second winner against a team they were expected to beat in Fulham. But the reason that this is a big deal for United, and the reason why I made it one of the top matches, is because for United to get a win over Spurs in recent history has been hard. I say recent history. In recent games. History sounds like since the 1900s. I don't know. But anyway, in recent games, it's been hard. United haven't beaten Spurs, Vic, since October of 2022. That is 8 straight games where Spurs have won 5 and drawn 3. Not to mention that last season, Spurs beat United 4 straight times, including in the Europa League final. Make no mistake that Carrick and the team, everyone at United, they know this, and they'll do everything they can to put a beating on a struggling Spurs side, especially at home. But the second half showing against City that Spurs had, it showed me something that I haven't seen in a long time. So I'm not saying that this is going to be how they play from now on. Probably not going to be that, by the way. It's probably going to be another test for United that they're going to pass. But the fact that there's all these storylines coming in and the history that United has had recently where they cannot get the ball into the goal over Spurs, I guess that's a weird way to put that. They can't beat Spurs is what I'm trying to say. This is going to be an interesting one. And that's why it's one of the top matches, Vic.
And those are your 2 top matches and headlines from Premier League Match Day 25. I said 24. It's actually 25. And let's go ahead and get to the rest of the match day. And it starts on Friday with a tremendous battle for 16th place as Leeds United welcome Nottingham Forest.
Yes, both sides are just 6 points clear of West Ham in 18th. And even though Forest are the more informed side at the moment, this is a tough game at Ellen Road in prime time. Should be a tense one, should be a close one. And I heard on a podcast on, I believe it was the Totally Football podcast, that Leeds are unbeaten in matches in prime time, which means like the later kickoffs. So we'll see.
We'll see. And Saturday starts with your No Business Soccer podcast top match of the week. That was Man U and Tottenham. We talked about that. So we move on to Everton, looking to continue their four-game unbeaten streak as they head to their table neighbor, Fulham.
Fulham are licking their wounds from that last-minute loss to United, and Everton will be pumped after that late equalizer against Brighton. The real question is, does any of that convert to momentum in this game? We'll see, but I say let's go Toffees for our boy Danny P.
And then Saturday continues with a relegation tussle as number 18 West Ham head to number 19 Burnley. These teams will stay 18 and 19 respectively despite any outcome, but all points are welcome when they're trying to escape relegation.
This might be the best chance that Burnley have to start making a serious challenge to get out of the bottom three. They sit 5 points behind West Ham in 18th. And even though West Ham are streaking there, they were streaking there for a bit. How big will that blow to Chelsea be for a fragile team? I honestly am very curious to see how this one turns out. I expect that West Ham can get it done, but man, that was a huge loss to Chelsea, not only because of the score or what happened in the game, but it's just the way that it happened. The way that West Ham were just get the lead, let it go, and last second they lose it. You break their hearts, and this is a team that needs every point they can get. It's going to be a fun one.
And our next match should have everyone breaking out their rosaries and praying to the Virgen de Guadalupe as Sunderland head to your league leaders Arsenal looking for all 3 points.
Sunderland away is not a tough fixture, and Arsenal are done playing games with the title race. This should be pretty straightforward. Yeah, like you said.
And next, we have Chelsea, winners of 3 straight, looking to keep pace with the top spots, and they have a more than favorable matchup to do so as they take on bottom of the table Wolverhampton.
Wolves' fairy tale run has come to an end, and Chelsea have some momentum in the Prem at least. Even with this game being on the road, I can't see anything other than 3 points for Chelsea.
Next, we have a Bournemouth squad on a 4-game unbeaten streak looking to keep it rolling against the Aston Villa squad looking to make another run.
So for the record, this would have been the game that took the United Spurs match, but I don't know if it was, really? I don't know which one would be better, but anyway, the Cherries are starting to get their legs under them again, and it's a big test against a top 3 club that's struggling a bit in Villa. This one's very intriguing because even though I don't think Bournemouth are going to be very good without Semenyo for the rest of the season, I think they have enough to get a draw with Villa here. Let's find out.
And Saturday ends with Brentford looking to head to Newcastle and add to Newcastle's 3-game winless streak to 4.
Newcastle can't seem to get it going in the league, and with Brentford being annoyingly good right now, they might be in for another game where they can drop points. All the injuries, it just feels like it's the bees for the taking. The match is the bees for the taking, and Newcastle just aren't a fun team to watch right now. You've seen them. They're just struggling so much. They have no healthy players. I'd love to put this one as one of the top ones because Brentford are a surprise team. Newcastle, a slumping team that's in the Champions League, but man, they are not good right now.
Really, not Arsenal and Sunderland? You didn't want Arsenal? You didn't say that about them. That would
last
be one of the top matches for me.
Last time I said it, or no, I didn't say it. Didn't they draw or something like that? Like it was a big deal.
Yeah.
I think it was. They played at the Stadium of Light, and I was like, I can't make this. Yes, Sunderland are top 4, but man, they're not great. And then they end up drawing, and I was like, well, egg on my face. Look, if knowing what I know now, if the match was at the Stadium of Light, for sure it would. Sunderland are not good away from home. It's gonna be at least like 2 to 3 goal difference in that one. Mark my words, sir. I don't want that to happen.
Fair enough.
But
bet a lunch. Want to bet a lunch on it?
What are we betting though? Like what's the bet?
A lunch.
No.
I
on the score or
they either win or draw. How about that?
Sunderland win or draw?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I'll take that.
Wait, or lose by 1. How about I give you 1? I'll lose by 1.
I was gonna say, all right. Hey, look, I'll give you 1 really. Too. All right, I'll give you 1 too. Look,
lose by 1 or less, and then if they lose by 2 or more, I'll buy your lunch.
Okay, there you go. Hey,
right.
virtual handshake right there. All right. And I hate that you're making me go for Arsenal. First off, I don't like that, but it's just like I just don't see it. All right.
I'm gonna work on my Spanish for that. We then go on to Sunday, and it's a lower table matchup of 2 teams that have just 1 win in their last 12 collectively. Who will turn it around as Brighton welcome Crystal Palace?
Here's another derby of sorts, but I'm not clear on why it's a derby. Sorry, not derby, derby. Either way, neither team has anything good going for them right now. Really, I guess it just makes for an interesting one. But Palace look like they're circling the drain. If they can stop the bleeding here, it'd be a very good sign. I think there's already people in Brighton that are done with the Herzler project. It's just not a fun place to be in on either of these sides of the pitch. But maybe it makes for a good game. Maybe it's open. Maybe they're like super mad at each other for some reason. I was listening to that same podcast, and they were breaking this one down, and they were saying that it's a derby, but I don't know why. If you know, tell us in the comments.
It's funny you say derby. Every time in my notes, when I have to say Bass Derby or something like that, I spell it D-A-R-B-Y.
I should. I need to do
say
that.
It wrong.
Yeah, yes, I did that in the first one.
I
just did that.
Funny. Yeah.
I am Ron Burgundy moment, but yeah, Derby.
But match day 25 ends with your other No Business Soccer podcast top matchup of the week. That was Liverpool and Man City. We already talked about that, so that'll do it for match day 25. Let's go ahead and take a look at the table. As your number ones are still Arsenal. Arsenal are pop it up. They have 53 points in the number one spot. I'm sure it'll pop up. I'll just tell you, it'll pop up soon. In the number two spot is Manchester City. They have 47 points. They are followed by Aston Villa with 46 points, just 1 point behind them. And then rounding out our top four, as we said, is Manchester United. They have 41 points. And then tickling our top four is Chelsea with 40 points, trying to sneak into those Champions League spots. There they are. There's Chelsea tickling the top four there. And also taking that Europa League spot. And then we take a look at the bottom of the table. We should have actually the bottom three are going to stay there no matter what. But hopefully trying to get some more points to sneak out of there. You have West Ham in the number 18 spot. They have 20 points. They have 5 points above Burnley, who are in the 19th spot, who have 15 points. And then our Wolverhampton Wanderers still trying to make double digits, and it's not going to get easy this weekend as they take on Chelsea. They have 8 measly points, a solid foundation for the Premier League table. And I don't know if they're going to break it. I kind of don't want them to because I want to set some records, but we'll see how things play out.
It would be interesting to see that happen. I think I didn't really think about it until we were talking about it on the podcast right now. But like I was looking at the bottom of the table kind of shaping out, right? If there's a winner in the 16 through 19 games that are happening, then we kind of know that's a 6-pointer right there. It's probably going to be hard for whichever teams to save their season, get out of the relegation zone. But I also, just from talking about it here, realized that if we might see the top and the bottom of the table solidified, because Liverpool, if they beat City, that'd be cool for y'all. But you're giving the title to Arsenal. You can't say Spurs. We drew last week. That's not we didn't do anything. If y'all make the gap 9 points, it's over. There's it's done. So
I'm a little mixed. So I'm definitely a Sunderland fan this weekend. Definitely hate watching on Arsenal all the time.
I was assuming that they're gonna beat them, but you're right. There's a chance that they can lose.
Yeah, I think they won 2 of the last 3. Arsenal have not. So I think Sunderland are a better place. They also had a great run earlier. So I have some faith in them. That's why I have some faith in them and bet a lunch on you. But I
will not enjoy eating my lunch. Let me just tell you that much. All right.
I will say I am kind of in the air about it. I don't know if I said this on the podcast or we were just talking, but I was like, dude, if Man City wins the league, who cares? They win all the time. Nobody's gonna care. But if Arsenal win, everybody's gonna be like, God dang it, now they get to talk. It's if the Cowboys won the Super Bowl, everybody's gonna be like, God damn it, now they get to talk about.
Now you know. That's exactly. Yeah. Oh man. And your team is gonna be the one that's gonna do that for him. Can you believe that? I mean, come on, gotta. Even a draw if Arsenal win 10 points. I mean, oh wait, no, that would be I added 1 to the 9. That'd be 8 points, right? So, oh Lord. Okay, well, looks like we've said it all. So, DJ, play our music. Vic, take us home.
Everyone, thank you for talking about some European football with your boys here at the No Business Soccer Podcast. Be sure to like and subscribe on every platform. Everything we have is at No Business Soccer Podcast, except for TikTok, except for Twitter. That is at No Biz Sock Pod because those names were way too damn long. Everyone enjoy the football. It's going to be happening this weekend, and we will talk to you all very soon.
Peace.
Peace.